Today's live video is for you if you're looking for change in your life, in your everyday life, as well in your horsewomanship. This week, I'm offering free coaching, no strings attached. I feel that we have right now so much turmoil in our life that it's important to connect and to support each other. And this is my way of saying, hey, I am here for you. And this is a series, a 5-part series, where I talk about the 5 steps that you need to take in order to create positive change in your everyday life as well in your horsewomanship. And yesterday I talked about the fact that we need to be willing to, that there is a possibility for change. We need to be willing to see the possibility for change. A lot of times when change becomes impossible is because we do not believe there is a possibility for change. And this can be wide open because a lot of times change happens maybe not exactly in the way we're anticipating. But we need to be open. If you're saying, for example, if I say, my horse and I, we can't canter, and then there is a period. How does that sound to you? It sounds like this is how it is, it will ever be that way, and we just can't canter, right? Scratch that, we just can't do it. However, when I say, me and my horse cannot canter yet, boom! The door is open, and there is the possibility for change available. And I was telling a story yesterday that I started. I didn't quite finish it, so to give you an incentive to watch every one of those 5 steps, because you got to know each 5 of them, right? So I started yesterday talking about that I was in Pagosa Springs. I had come out of a relationship that was no longer working. I had my own apartment. I had my horses boarded. There was a lot of drama at the barn where I was boarding, despite that I absolutely loved the place. And I was just yearning to have my own place where nobody was moving my stuff around, where there was no drama that other people created, where I could just really do what I wanted to do, right? And I didn't need to do, hi Carmen, I didn't need to do what other people expected me to do, right? That I didn't want to do. And so this house was right along the street where I drove on a weekly basis to a student. I had no money in my bank at the end of the month, right? I would always pay my apartment, I would pay my horse board and everything else that I needed, but then I went back to zero, and I had seen this house up for sale. And so I talked a little bit about the struggle yesterday, how to actually get to the point where I saw the house and where I started to create a plan. And so we need to have the willingness, put that yet in whatever is currently not working for you. I don't have a relationship that is working yet. Me and my horse are not getting along yet. And you're opening the door for change. It's very, very important that you can see the change in front of you. The next thing is that we need to have awareness. And I do that with my private students, with my mentorship students all the time, that we take inventory. And you can take inventory in your everyday life, and you can take inventory in your horsewomanship. And you need to know what is currently working, what is my baseline that I currently have, and what's not working yet. Where am I right now, point A, and where do I want to be, point B? And then there is a vast opening in between, right, where we are right now, where we want to be. And you need to have a plan for that. It's the same thing when we are with our horse. And we're looking to the ground and we're kind of moseying around and we're expecting our horse to follow us. You don't have a plan. Your horse has no clue where you want to go. As soon as we pop our head up and we're saying, okay, I'm going to walk over there, Then our horse is like, okay, I can see you have a plan. Hi, Jessica. You look like the lead. I can follow you. And you can be your own lead in your everyday life. You can be the lead in your horsewomanship. That's why I call it Genuine Connections, my program, because you want to connect with your horse. And in order to connect with your horse, you really need to learn how to connect with yourself and with others as well. And it's this wonderful opportunity that we can use our horsewomanship to personally grow as a human. And in my case, I was talking about it a little bit yesterday. I took inventory of all the things that I could come up with that reduced the price of the property. It was owner financing, and I knew it had been on the market for a while. The realtor didn't get back to me for 3 weeks, despite that I called over and over again. So I looked at all the things that were in my favor, despite that I had no money to buy that house, okay? I had no money in my bank account for the down payment. I had no money in my bank account for the closing cost. Anything that you need to have for the inspection, right? I didn't have anything, but I saw it, and I realized that there was a very good chance that I could put myself in a position that I could make somehow an offer. I didn't know how, right? But I knew I could somehow make an offer. And so I started to spread the word. I started to talk to people. I started to talk to my students. I started to talk to my friends. And I started to imagine that property to be mine. And the first thing that happened was that I came up with how much would I need as a down payment, and what could be ways to create that down payment. And because the house had been empty, because the realtor didn't get back to people, because the house had been on the market for several years, I was in an extraordinary position. And you're saying, oh, well, Petra, that's that case. But I could never possibly find a property like that or a situation like that. Do you know, if you're saying that right now, you're closing the door already? Of course, you haven't found it yet. It's out there. People always want to sell houses. People always want to get rid of something or are willing to help you. You just need to find the person, right? You just need to find what in your inventory, you need to look at. What do I have not yet that I need to get to where I want to be? So in my case, it was mostly money, right? Because I didn't have the money. So in this case, I figured I can make an offer that was way below the listing price. They had started out way back when with $225,000. They had gone all the way down to $125,000. The market had crashed. The house had issues. It wasn't finished. It wasn't built like a normal house. It was a barn converted into a home. It wasn't bank financeable. All kinds of things, right? So I made a lower offer. It was $95,000. Actually, you know what? Actually, I offered $85,000, and they didn't go for that. They said $95,000 is all they want to do. But that meant that I could go with 10% of financing, and it was $9,500. I also knew the market was down in the dips, and that eventually would go up. And in my mind, I knew that I could make $100,000 with this property. And so I'm like, okay, $9,500. How could I create $9,500? Could I sell something? Could I offer additional services? Could I go clean people's houses? Whatever. I mean, I came up with all kinds of ideas. But the first thing that I did was I put it out to my students and I said, hey, I want to buy this house. Would you be willing to prepay for lessons, for a retreat, for workshops that I can get the down payment? And believe it or not, my students said, absolutely, we love you, we want to support you, we want to be at your house for workshops and for retreats. Here, we're going to prepay. And boom, I had the money for the down payment. I bought the house. I had some support from friends that did things for free for me, right? Like figuring out what's wrong with the electric, fixing the plumbing that had broken because it wasn't properly winterized. And at that point, I also had gained some of my own skills to renovate houses because I love doing that. So within 1 year, I was ready to refinance the house with a bank. And I went back to the owner and I said, okay, I can refinance the house, but I can only refinance for $85,000. And they said, grumble, grumble, grumble. Okay. So in the end, I got the property for the $85,000 that I originally had in my mind, that I saw as a number that was possible. And when you take the story as a story and you're applying that to your life, it's maybe not a house, right? Whatever it is for you. Maybe you want to find a beautiful relationship with somebody that is kind and caring and supportive. Or you're already in a relationship and you want to improve that relationship. You want to improve the relationship with your horse. You want to ride on the beach. You want to canter down the beach. You want to canter over a wildflower meadow. Whatever it is for you. Where are you right now? What do you already have in place? Where do you want to go? What's missing to get there? And what do you then need to do? Is it skills that you can learn? Do you have to ask somebody else to support you? Is it money that you need? How can you make that money? How can you eat out less? How can you make more money? How can you save on TV? Whatever it is for you. How can you spend less? How you can earn more? How can you be creative in that process, right? And with spending, it's not just about money spending. It can also be time. How can you spend less time for things that are not as valuable for you, so you can spend more time for the things that are valuable for you, like with your horse? Can you find somebody that is willing to trade chores with you, and therefore you have more time for your horse? Can you spend less time doing stuff that you're doing right now? Can you become more efficient? Can you gain new skills in order to be new efficient? There are so many ways, and you have to create the awareness what that is that you need to have. You don't have it yet. Don't worry about getting it necessarily. Just make a list of what you need to have. And that's the awareness phase. So yesterday we talked about the willingness to see it, the willingness to know that it is possible for you, to stop denying what is right for you, what you want, right? A lot of times we deny things for ourselves. Oh, I could never do that. XYZ can do that, but I can never do that. Oh, people with money can do that, but I can't do it. Oh, people that have more time can create the relationship with a horse that they want to, but I can't do that. Whatever it is that you're currently telling yourself that you can't do, you're automatically closing the door and it becomes impossible. Whatever you think, whether you think it's possible or not, you're right? I think Henry Ford said that. So today's step is create awareness, make that list. And like I said, I'm offering free coaching. Take advantage of that. A couple of people already have jumped on the bandwagon and had bravely raised their hand because sometimes we need to be brave. Sometimes we need to be brave to step out of our comfort zone. And that might just be your awareness today, right? I just have to be brave. I just have to be willing to make that first step. I just have to be willing to get out of my comfort zone, right? Because just because we're comfortable doesn't necessarily mean we feel good about where we're at and what we have and what we do or what we don't do. It's just something that we know, that we're familiar with, that we have a certain amount of certainty. And we humans, our lizard brain wants us to be certain. Our lizard brain wants us to be safe. And so a lot of times not creating change is about feeling unsafe because we're stepping into the unknown. And if your revelation today is, wow, that's actually what it is. I don't know how I do it. I don't know how it can happen. There will be a lot of things that will be unknown. Oh, guess what? I have to ask people to help me. Ooh, I never want to do that. That was my problem. My mom, bless her heart, our family motto was things stay within the family. You don't ask for help, you figure it out yourself, and you ask your family for help, but you don't show other people that things are not working or that you're struggling. My mom was absolutely famous for that. For me, famous, right? Not on the outside, because things were always perfect. But my mom was very much about having, a good front, always having her hair perfectly styled, always having her makeup on. You would not see my mom outside the bedroom without her makeup. She always had the high heels. She always had the perfect thing. Look at my fingernails. They're ranch hands. Don't look at my feet because I always walk barefoot. Those were things that were really important to my mom, but I feel like that those were also things that were holding her back because she did not ask for help. It always had to somehow be within the family, and that really probably caused her to not be able to do things that she wanted to do, right? And so we're making all our own choices. So if you currently have a hard time asking for help, trust me, it was very important for me in the beginning. It was very difficult for me in the beginning to ask for help, and it was very important to work through that threshold. And I did it step by step, and now I don't have a problem. If I need help, then I'm like, okay, how can I figure that out? Can I do it myself? Nope. Okay, need somebody else. How can I figure out? What do I need? What does a person need? How can I trade? Do I have money to pay for it? Did I do a favor for somebody? And I can come back and say, hey, can you please help me? Because, reciprocity here, it needs to be a circle, right? So today's job is create awareness. And then if you want my help, pop it in the comment section or send me a private message. Totally fine either way. And I'm happy to help you with that next step. And tomorrow we're going to talk about the third step. Tomorrow is Friday. Yes, tomorrow I do have time. Saturday and Sunday I'm going to take a break. Public service announcement. On Saturday I will do my How to Cultivate a Calm, Safe and Secure Ride workshop. Today is the last day for the early bird. You save $20, just $27. You get the live version. I will then go in, take the recording, break it down into individual lessons, add additional bonus footage. You're going to get a workbook. That's all included in the $27. And to be a part of my Genuine Connections HorseWomanship group. That is a support group where other people usually charge around $20 for it. I don't. I pop a lot of free videos in there. I give a free live Q&A. And usually once a month I do something special that the public doesn't get. So that is my genuine support for you on a continued basis. And then if you would like to study with me as a private student, then check out the link below about it's understandyourhorse.com. That is my 10-week mentorship program for female horse lovers around the world that want to let go of pressure control and treat-based training techniques and want to grow in their horsewomanship as well as in their personal life through creating interconnections. So check that out. If you just want to spend $27, look at my workshop. And last but not least, when you are already in the group or you sign up for the workshop, then you're eligible for the 90-day Set and Achieve Your Goal Setting session. On Saturday, starting at 9, they usually last about 3 hours because it's an intensive and you will walk away with your roadmap. So that's your opportunity to create a roadmap for yourself, either in your everyday life or your horsewomanship for the next 90 days going towards the goal that you want to achieve. How awesome is that? I usually charge $147 for it if it is for sale. Otherwise, only my mentorship students get it, and you get it for free if you are in my Genuine Connections HorseWomanship support group. So have a lovely day. Percolate on what you've heard. Share your aha moments below. I'd love that if you would connect with me. Share with me what else you need to know. What's missing that you just like, I just don't know. This is my problem. what do I do as the next step? And then tomorrow I'll see you again at 11 a.m. And then over the weekend we'll take a break. Hopefully you join my workshop and the half-day, 90-day set and achieve your goals session. And then I'll be back on Monday with another free coaching session. Be well, be blessed. As I always say in my mentorship, with lots of love, because love makes everything better, including our horsewomanship. Bye now. Have a fabulous day. And connect with me in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you.